Welcome students, welcome back again. So this is the third part, that is the third video on your bridge course material. In the previous two videos we have discussed about your algorithm, how to create and design algorithm to represent the solution of a problem. Now there is one more method that depicts your logic more easily using figures, and that is your flowchart. You might aware about this flowchart maybe in the previous classes. If not, so see it carefully. So now before moving for drawing your flowchart, so what are the stages of the steps actually we come across when you write a program, or you can say for program development? Clear? So the steps are simple. So every time you have been given a solution, a problem actually to find the solution, you actually define the problem properly. So definition of a problem is important, what to do actually in the problem, and after that analyzing the problem and finding the given values and the values we have to calculate. So finding the solution, what is the logic behind to find the solution, that is important. So after that you will build statements and you will organize the statements in a proper order to represent the solution, and that is what the algorithm means actually. So representation of the solution in a proper set of statements in an organized manner is your algorithm. And now when you convert your algorithm or to represent your algorithm set of steps into a diagrammatical form or a pictorial form, you form your flowchart. The flowchart depicts your set of statements in using some figures and shapes. So that makes your things more easy to understand. So after things are over, that means the algorithms and flowcharts are over. Now you start building the program. So to write or to build the program, you must know any high level of programming language. You have to learn the programming language. So it is not very easy. You have to learn the ABCD or the fundamentals of any programming language. Clear? So we will be learning your Python programming language in class 11th. So it's very easy to start with Python programming language. So what is the syntax of writing or building a statement in Python, that we will learn later on. Clear? So it will be very easy after writing the algorithm, because you actually know what is the solution, then it will be very easy for building your statements too. So after the program is ready, you have to remove the errors. To find the errors and removing the errors is important task. The testing program and debugging the problem of the program is important task. Clear? So after removing the errors, it is ready to run. So if it is ready, that means you will document your program. Clear? That means documentation means you will add remarks and comments in between at the start and the end of the program, so that it improves the readability of the program code. It becomes easier from the learner side to understand the program code more easily. So these are some important steps that you actually every time you will follow when you write your program. Clear? So some steps you may not be writing actually in your copy, that automatically feeds in your mind, then you will writing the skipping some statements or the steps. So here you can see the 4 steps. The program comes at the 4th step. The logic and writing solution comes before that. So that is what the approach has to be developed, so that you solve a problem properly and you are able to form suitable statements to represent the solution. That is much more important before writing the program. So now moving to your flowchart. The flowchart depicts your solution in a diagrammatical form, or you can say it is a pictorial representation of the various set of steps which are used to represent solution of a given problem. So it makes your things easier. Why? Because flowchart uses a number of predefined shapes that is used worldwide to show the statements. And if you use shapes and figures, diagrams, it becomes easier to understand the logic. So it is easier to understand the logic in case of flowchart as compared to your algorithm. Clear? So before drawing the flowchart, you must aware about the various symbols, the figures that are used worldwide to represent the kind of work in a flowchart. So this oval shape, clear? So it's a kind of oval that represents the beginning and the end of the process. Clear? To start and to stop the process, you will using this symbol. So after that, to enter a value, when the value is not given, enter for input and output, you can say you will use in parallelogram. So for input and output operation, this parallelogram will be used. Now to show the computational work like storing value in a variable, assignment job, or arithmetic calculation representation, or any kind of computational statement or calculation statement, you will be using rectangle. Clear? So after that, sometimes you have to decide what to do, or which statement you have to execute, which statement you have to select. For that decision making statement, this rhombus, or you can say diamond shape, is used. Clear? So in the previous video, we already used this diamond shape. So this is for your conditional expression formation. Clear? To represent two kinds of branches. So that we'll understand later on. Now arrow, the arrow represents the flow of the data. Clear? So direction of the flow of the data is easily represented with the help of these arrows. Now sometimes your algorithm or the flowchart do not fit in one page, you require more than one page. So to represent the connection between the flowchart where you have left and from where you have to start, like a bookmark. Clear? So this connector symbol is used to represent the some kind of bookmark you have placed in the previous page. Now you have to start from the remaining part in the next page. The flowchart designing means how you can draw or form your flowchart. So let us take a example that already we have discussed in the previous video. A simple example. Mohan bought a rectangular land of area 1200 square meter. Find the length if the width is given to you as 300 meter. So for this solution, already we have discussed that one. So algorithm will be what? Step 1 means mark the beginning of the process. So the defined things or the given values you will store first, assigning the area 1200 to area variable, and then assigning 300 to breadth variable. Then after these two, you have got these two values, you will use the area of the rectangle into a form that is directed to be used. That means all the given values to be on the right hand side, and the value which has to be calculated should come on your left hand side. So length equal to area divided by breadth. So this is the algorithm. So step 1 for marking the beginning, and step 6 for stopping, and print length means what to do with the value length, displaying the answer. So that already we have discussed in number of steps. Now this is the same question that now we will be forming your flowchart. So this is what your algorithm, and now using this algorithm, because it represents your logic, we will be converting these steps into a form of figures. Okay. So first of all, marking the beginning. So for beginning, you will use an oval shape and you will write start. Clear? You can write begin also, but starting your flowchart. Next, you will come down and you will store your value of the area. So after that storing, you will store the value of the breadth to a variable. So the given values are here now. Now you will be using a formula so that area and breadth can be used, and after calculation, the answer will be stored in your length. Clear? So it is all exactly similar like your algorithm. Instead, we have used some figures and shapes. Clear? So rectangle for calculation for assignment. So here simple assignment, here assignment after calculation is done. So for depicting your calculation processing, you use rectangle. So for displaying the answer, that is a kind of output. So for output, a parallelogram has to be used. So the job is done. Now stop the process. This is how a flowchart is formed. So let us take another example. In this example, we can see Raman scored 20, Mohan scored 21, and find the average. So finding the average, it's a bit easy. Sum up the value and divide by the number of values. So start the process, store the value of first name, that is your Raman scored 20. The 21 stored in your M2. M2 represents the variable for the marks of Mohan. After that, you will sum the value and then divide by 2. And then you will store the result in AVG. So displaying the answer and stopping your algorithm. So now convert into a flowchart. So mark the beginning, just draw oval shape and label it your start. Then come down and store the value of 20 in M1. Same way, store the value of 21 into your M2 variable. After that, sum of the values and then display the answer using your parallelogram. And then after this, stopping your job. So parallelogram is for input and output, and rectangle is for processing any assignment or calculation. So I think these shapes are clear. So we used 3 shapes: oval, rectangle, and your parallelogram. Now next, moving on to another problem, but here in this problem we don't have the value given. So sometimes you will not be given the value. So you can take any value, or you can take or enter from the keyboard in your program like that. So in those cases, we can represent that a number, enter the number. You can write a statement, enter the number stored in n. So instead of long sentence, you will write a simple one, that is input n. So that means store the value in a variable n. So that after that you will find the multiple. So n into 1, the first multiple, and storing the value in m1. So we have got the n. So after that n into 2 will have the second multiple, and n into 3 the third multiple. After that we are adding all these multiples and displaying the answer. So this is the algorithm we are having, this ready algorithm, converting this algorithm into a flowchart. So mark the beginning, start, and then after that you will store the value from keyboard, or the value is not given. So when the value is not given to you, you will use a parallelogram to represent, to kindly enter the value. So input n, entering the value. So for inputting value, a parallelogram has to be used. So after that we have got the value stored in n. So what to do with the value? Finding the first multiple, storing the value in m1, finding second multiple, storing in m2, finding the third multiple, storing in m3. After that we have got the three multiples. Now sum of the values of the multiples in this manner. The exactly similar to your algorithm, but instead we have used some shapes. So after that, displaying the answer and then stopping your job, that is stopping your flowchart. So this is your flowchart for this simple problem. So in this way, learn first the simple problem, gradually you can take up the difficult questions, but right now do not take the difficult one, because concept understanding is important, the building of statement is important. So start with your simple questions that I will give you in your assignment later on. So now let us take another one. So in this case, some kind of decision making has to be done. So take a number and check if it is even or odd. So in these kinds of question, you will require one more shape, that is decision box. Let us understand. So start, input n, what do with the number? Find out the remainder by dividing the number by 2 and storing the remainder in r. Checking the value of r, if it is equal to 0, it matches with 0, that means double equal to here is used for comparing the value of r with 0. If both are same, it is true, that means both are equal. Single equal to means to storing the value for assignment or calculation, you can say, but here for comparing value. So when you compare something, you will get the answer whether it's true or false. So if the condition is true, that means the remainder is 0, you will what? You will run a set of statements. So here print even is simple, so this will display as even, the number is even. So if it is false, so this will not be taken, and instead of that print odd will be taken. So out of these two set of statements, only one will be selected depending upon the result of the condition. Clear? That already we have discussed in the previous video, these questions and the algorithms. Okay. Now let us draw a flow chart. So how will you write the step number 4 in your flow chart? To mark the beginning, now input, enter the value using a parallelogram. After that, divide the number by 2 and store the remainder in r. So r store the remainder. Now check the remainder. For checking the remainder, decision making statement has to be there, and for the decision making you have to use a rhombus or a diamond shape. So inside that you will write the condition. So if r equal to 0 means if r is equal to 0. So there are two set of statements. So if the statement expression is correct, that is r is equal to 0, it's even, so then yes part will be executed. So whatever you will write after yes, that will be executed. So right now we are having only one statement, and that is to display the answer on the screen. So print even. So this output will come if the answer is that is the number is even, and then you will stop the job. But second case is also there. If it is not even, then no part will be executed. Clear? That means no, this branch, no branch will be executed. Print odd will appear on the screen. But both of that will not be executed. Only one will be executed or one will be selected. Clear? So in your algorithm, it will give all the type of statement that will be part of the solution. Clear? So when actual value is to be passed, then the flowchart will represent the actual data flow. Clear? So this is what the flowchart for your condition based statement or decision making statement. Clear? There are two branches, yes branch and no branch. There are two directions, only one direction you can go with, whether yes, whether no, depending upon this condition. Clear? But at last you have to come down to stop the process. So I think you got it. So now let us understand using a value for the same problem. So the problem is the same. We have got the answer, that is the algorithm. So now let us take a example value. So if the value of number is 10, that is num is 10, clear? So what will be the execution or data flow in the flow chart? Clear? So beginning the process, entering the value, storing in number, and then finding the remainder, storing in R, then taking up the decision. So if R double equal to 0, in this case the number is 20, so what is stored in R? So in R, 20 divided by 2, the remainder is 0. So R stores 0. So if R double equal to 0, that means if value of R is equal to double equal to 0, if both are same, yes, R stores 0. So 0 equal to 0 is same. So the condition result is true. So for true, your yes part, that is yes branch, will be executed, or you can say will be selected. Clear? So now it will print even, and then after that it will come down and stop. So this part will not be selected, because out of these two parts only one part will be selected in actual form when you actually execute, or you actually test this flow chart using a given example value. Clear? So this diagram is also clear to you. This is the depicting your actual flow of your data when actual value is passed. Is clear? So now let us take another one to understand this again. So take name and age of two friends and display the name of friend who is older. So in this case also the algorithm will be look like this. Beginning the process, input n1 means n here the simple variable represents the name of the first friend, and m1 represents the, you can say, the age of the first person. So it can be age 1, age 2 like that, but I have used m1, no problem. So m1 represents the age of the first friend. Clear? Second, the name of the second friend, and m2 represents the age of the second friend. So after the set of raw material or the inputs, what you will do? You will check for the value whether the m1, that is the age of first person or friend, is more than the second one. If it is true, that means who is older? So the first friend will be older. So we will display the name of the first friend. So if it is false, that means in this case the otherwise statement, that is the else part, will be executed. That means print n2, name of second friend, will be displayed. If the age of both the friends are same, that means again it will be false. That will display the name of anyone. That means m will not be greater than m2. So otherwise statement will be executed. So there are two set of branches. One represents print n1, other represents your n2. If the condition is true, the branch 1 will be, yes branch will be executed, otherwise branch 2 will be executed. Clear? So let us understand with the help of this flow chart again. Let us first take the solution, then we'll understand a given value and understand the actual execution of the depiction of the flow chart. So beginning the flow chart, entering the name of first friend, entering the age of your first friend, entering the name of second friend, entering the age of your second friend. But right now our screen, or you can see the page, do not have the space to accommodate the remaining set of figures or the statements. So now we have to move to the second screen, or you can see the second page. So now what we have to use? A connector. So see here, any symbol you can use. So this circle represents a connector. So see, any word you can use. I've used C. So this means this will be connecting to some other page. So now let us move to the second page. So here the same symbol has to be used. So already we are having this set of statements. Now this is the decision making statement. Now we will build this statement here in this flowchart, the remaining part. Clear? So how statement 6 will be formed using your flowchart? So here the connector, the same connector has to be written in the next page, means both are same actually. Same is the problem, same is the solution. We are taking the same question actually. So now after that you got the ages, comparing the ages. Age of first friend is more than m2. Clear? If it is true, the yes part will, otherwise false. Clear? If it is false, the no part will be executed. That is print, the name of second friend will be displayed or executed. Then after that you can stop. But here in the flow chart we have to depict the second set of statement also. Clear? The complete solution will comprise of both the branches. So if it is true, the yes branch will be executed. After that, we'll come to the stopping of the flowchart. So this is clear. So this represents the remaining part, that is decision making statement or your rhombus or the diamond shape for decision making. So there cannot be more than, there is only one input and two outputs in this case. You can see in decision making statement, it cannot be three, because the condition will be either false or either will be true. Clear? So this is the solution for this problem number 5. Now let us actually understand this again using a given value. So the same question, clear? So if the age of first friend is more than the second, name of first friend will be displayed, otherwise the name of second. So let's take an example values. So let us take the age of the first student or the first friend is 23, second is 34. Clear? The name can be any. So that is not important in this our case for forming the solution. So we have not stored the name of the persons. We can store the names in the store the names, but the values we have not now taking as a given values. Clear? So let us take an example. Values M1 is 23, M2 is 34. So when you actually use this algorithm for defining or finding the solution of an actual problem, you will have the actual values. Clear? So here the starting statement will be the same, clear? But decision making statement, which part will be executed, that we have to understand. So if M1 is more than M2, 23 is more than 34, is it true or false? No, it is not true. So no part will be selected, or no branch, that is the branch represented with the no, will be executed or it will be taken care of. So the name of second friend will be displayed in actual case. So this yes part will not be executed. Clear? Will be skipped. So this is what the solution of this problem, by taking a dummy or the value. So this is what testing, we have testing with the help of a given values. So I hope you got all these flowcharts. So watch this video again, clear? So that you are able to understand the basic concept for building your flowchart. Clear? So I hope the flowchart is clear to you. Practice it. So any kind of problem you can post on the group. So till then, bye, take care and stay healthy, stay safe. Clear? We will meet again in the next video.